Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So this is a crazy story, but it has a good ending. Since the overturning of Roe versus Wade by radical Republican extremists on the Supreme Court, some states have been taking action to introduce ballot measures. This is to basically leave it up to the majority of voters in their state as to whether or not they want to allow politicians to control women's bodies. I've seen comments from right-wingers saying things like, see, you guys freaked out over nothing. No one's trying to control women. You just need to leave it up to the state to decide. First of all, I find that to be bullshit. Your neighbor should not get a say in what you do or don't do with your body, period. Second, not every state will allow these ballot measures, often because alt-right extremists know that their policies are unpopular, so they cheat and they use nefarious means to try to maintain minority rule. Case in point, Michigan. There's this archaic abortion law that was already on the books. It would automatically go into effect because of this new Dobbs decision, because of the overturning of Roe versus Wade. And the only exceptions it allows is to save the life of the mother. No rape, no incest, exceptions, nothing. And those who receive an abortion under this law could be sentenced for up to 4 years in prison. So here's what went down. A group called Reproductive Freedom for All took to the streets and they obtained far more signatures than what they needed in order to place an amendment on the ballot. This abortion measure would be in the upcoming midterm election. You would be able to vote on it in the November midterm. What happened next is almost too absurd, too ridiculous to be real. An anti-abortion group with a very hypocritical name objected to this ballot measure because some of the sentences were written without spaces. I'm dead serious. They were literally fighting the inclusion of this ballot measure due to typos. And they said the errors were, quote, strings of gibberish. So therefore, this ballot measure should not be allowed on the ballot. That was their argument. So the matter went before an elections board. This was a 4-person board that unfortunately contains 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. They deadlocked. The Republicans actually sided with these forced birth Nazis and said, yep, typos are disqualifying when it comes to a ballot measure to literally decide someone's future. So the issue was taken to the Michigan Supreme Court, and the majority ruled in favor of common sense and fairness. And Chief Justice Bridget McCormick basically smacked the Republicans around verbally in her opinion. She said that the actions of the Republican board members are, quote, a sad marker of the times. And the judge noted, quote, 753,759 Michiganders signed this proposal, more than have ever signed any proposal in Michigan's history. Judge McCormick went on to say, quote, the challengers have not produced a single signer who claims to have been confused by the limited spacing sections in the full text portion of the proposal. Yet 2 members of the Board of State Canvassers would prevent the people of Michigan from voting on the proposal because they believe that the decreased spacing makes the text no longer the full text. And, quote, they would disenfranchise millions of Michiganders, not because they believed the many thousands of Michiganders who signed the proposal were confused by it, but because they think they have identified a technicality that allows them to do so, a game of gotcha gone very bad. So Michiganders will now be allowed to vote as to whether or not they want abortion rights enshrined into their state's constitution. And this is exactly why we have to keep pushing back, because they're not content with just leaving it up to the states and leaving it up to the voters. They want total control. They proved it with this whole debacle. They absolutely want to control women. They don't want the people to speak. They don't care. about what the majority has to say. If I hear any more, I will let you know. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.